Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Define Disaster. This is Battlefield 4, and in today's video we're going to be covering specializations, or as they are known as in Battlefield 4, field upgrades. Which ones are the best, what they entail, and which ones you should be using with which classes. To start off this video, I thought we'd go over the 5 field upgrades, talk about them in a little bit more detail, what they entail, what makes them good or bad, before we kind of get into deciding which are the best and which you should be using for which class. Starting off with the first one, the defensive upgrade. As level 1, you have here armor, which reduces incoming damage to the chest by 10%, allowing you basically to take another bullet in close quarter combat in most situations, making you harder to kill for your enemy. Now, this is a massive boost, especially when considering that this is the level 1 for the defensive upgrade, meaning that you are always have this active no matter how poorly you're performing, how poorly your team is performing, how little team interaction you have, you will always have the armor upgrade active when running the defensive perk. The next 3 levels are kind of less spectacular than level 1. You have level 2 here with cover, which decreases the amount of incoming suppression by 50%. Useful, not game changing, much like the flak upgrade, which decreases damage from explosions by 15%. It's not really going to help you survive a grenade in most situations, and an impact grenade doesn't kill you with one shot either, so it's not really as relevant as it may have been at the beginning of Battlefield 4, where impact grenades still had the chance, or possibility I should say, of when perfectly placed actually killing you immediately. Last but not least, we have quick regen here. Decreases time before out of combat heal by 20%. Meh, not really fantastic either. Doesn't really change up things too much time. Those 5 I don't know how many seconds that are needed or helped by this 20% aren't really going to make a difference to the gameplay. So once more, it's just really the level 1 upgrade that we're going for when equipping the defensive field upgrade, allowing us to withstand a little bit more damage in close quarter and take 6 bullets to kill instead of 5. The next field upgrade on our list today is the offensive field upgrade, with the level 1 sprint increasing your maximum sprint speed by 10%. Nifty, nice, nothing that's going to change gameplay too much. Level 2, however, is what holds the offensive upgrade up, and that is ammo. Increases maximum inventory of bullets by 50%. This is big. This actually makes an impact in a lot of people's gameplay. If you go on a decent kill streak and you don't always have the opportunity to find some ammo, this is what's going to keep you alive. This is what's going to provide you with enough bullets to continue that kill streak or to find that next ammo box. I personally love the offensive upgrade for the very reason that it allows me to have more ammo with me. It allows me to go on longer kill streaks. Yes, unlike the defensive upgrade, it's not always useful, because you're not always going to be kind of surviving long enough to take use of that extra ammo, but it does happen frequently enough to the point where I would equip the offensive upgrade just for the increased amounts of magazines and bullets it gives you. Level 3 is also nice, not as good as level 2, but grenades, it increases the maximum inventory of your hand grenade by 1. Admittedly, you first have to get to level 3 of the offensive upgrade, and this can take some time, but it's definitely achievable, and an extra grenade is always useful, especially on higher player count maps, where there's a higher chance that you've got kind of clustered up enemies and you want to truck a grenade down a corridor. Last but not least, we've got reduced fall damage, increases height, you can fall without damage. Meh, much like level 1, kind of nice, not really useful, not really going to change your gameplay too much, unless you're a huge fan of jumping off buildings without actually opening your parachute. The next field upgrade in our list is the shadow upgrade, with the level 1 giving you quick unspot, means it reduces the time you are spotted by 2 seconds. That's kind of, well, nice, once more nifty, not really impacting your gameplay too much. Level 2, once more the sprint upgrade, that means 10% faster sprinting. Once more, not very impactful in your gameplay. Nice, but not very useful. Reduced fall, once again, increases the height you can fall without damage. Once again, not a big deal unless you're somebody who loves jumping off building without parachutes. And last but not least, stealth, undetected by motion sensors, except for when sprinting. Now, this could be a decent upgrade. This could be a decent kind of added bonus of using the shadow field upgrade, which otherwise doesn't really have much to offer, if it would be useful in more situations. Frankly, first of all, you have to get to level 4 of this upgrade, which isn't always possible, can take you some time. Second of all, motion balls, motion sensors aren't used that often. I don't see that many people using motion sensors to the point where I would actually think they are a threat to me on a regular basis, making, for me, at least the shadow upgrade the most useless of all the field upgrades we're going to be discussing today. Now, next on our list of the field upgrades we're going to be discussing today is the Combat Medic, with the level 1 upgrade being a Medikit upgrade, increases maximum deployable medic bags and packs by 1. This can be useful if you're kind of being the team medic. You're trying to heal as many people as possible. You're on a more clustery map, a more choke pointy map, maybe 64 players. I'm thinking specifically of something like Locker or maybe even something like Metro. This is where this could be useful if you're trying to be the most effective team player you possibly could be. Otherwise, not really a big deal, given that you can already deploy 2 med packs, or 1 med bag is usually enough for you and your squad in most situations. Level 2 sprint, we've talked about this enough, not very useful, certainly nifty, but not useful to kind of make any impact on your gameplay. Level 3 defib upgrade increases charge up speed of the defibrillators by 100%. Once more, nice. Once more, useful if you're trying to heal or revive 5 people at once. And once more, only very situationally usable. And last but not least, the 4th upgrade is medical unit. Occupied vehicles will slowly heal nearby soldiers. Cool, definitely something that kind of sounds interesting. But once more, for most situations where medics are being used a lot, that's infantry focused gameplay, infantry focused maps, vehicles aren't as prevalent, and well, it's not going to make a big impact anyway, because people that are in your vehicle are safe from damage unless of course that vehicle just blows up. Now, the last field upgrade on our list today is the Grenadier upgrade. Level 1 here is the increasing of a maximum inventory of hand grenades by 1. As already previously mentioned, relatively nice, quite useful to have on more close quarter infantry maps with lots of choke points, high player rates, high ticket counts. Certainly recommendable. Not game changing, but useful nevertheless. Level 2, sprint, increase maximum sprint speed by 10%. We've had this plenty of times, not a big deal. Level 3 is more 40mm grenades. To be precise, increases the maximum inventory of 40mm grenades by 3. Nice for choke pointy maps. Nice for things like Operation Locker, Operation Metro, but in my opinion, not a big deal. I'm not a big user of the grenade launchers anyway, and the only maps I would kind of find these useful are those choke pointy close quarter maps like Locker, and there this could definitely provide you with a certain advantage, so you're able to spam a little bit more downrange, assuming the server hasn't banned them. Level 4 is Flak, decreases damage from explosives by 15%. As discussed with the defensive upgrade, not that much of a big deal. But given the total appearance of the Grenadier, it makes more sense here, and it kind of fits better into the Locker theme and could provide a little bit more usefulness than with other upgrades previously discussed. Now, with all the field upgrades being discussed, let's go over them once more and kind of explain their role briefly, the situations they would be best used in, starting this time from behind with the Grenadier. This is certainly something that I only would really find useful on something like Locker. If you want to use the Grenadier upgrade, that's where I would use it. That's where it probably could provide you with a slight edge, giving you this increased firepower and resistance to grenades or surrounding anything explosive, really. The Combat Medic, once more, only really useful on maps where you're kind of playing the dedicated healer, maybe trying to get the highest point streak without ever killing somebody or something like that. Certainly not useful in most situations. Once more, something you may want to actually play on something like Operation Locker or Metro. Shadow is, in my opinion, the worst field upgrade. I can't really see a big reason to use this, as discussed previously. It's got some cool things like quick unspot, which just isn't useful enough given that it only decreases it by 2 seconds your spotted time, and stealth, just too little people actually use motion sensors. So in my opinion, you're not going to really want to use this in any situation, frankly. I can't come up with a situation where I would prefer to use Shadow over something like a Grenadier Combat Medic offensive or defensive upgrade. Speaking of the offensive upgrade, this is one of my favorites, and the situations you can use this in are relatively versatile. Now, obviously, you want to go for something where you're going to be able to use that extra grenade and where you need the extra ammo, which is something obviously more aggressive. Probably not want to use this as a sniper. You're probably going to want to use this as Pioneer or Medic, but we'll get into which classes I would recommend which field upgrades for in just a moment. Last but not least, we have defensive. This is probably the most useful upgrade all around. It's usable in any single situation because, frankly, why you would use a defensive upgrade? Because of the decreased damage, and that is useful in any situation. Anything from sniper to shotgun user, having less damage to your chest is always going to be nice because most of the bullets you're going to be hit by are going to go right there. So which upgrades would I recommend for which classes? Well, actually, for me, it's only a choice between two, the defensive and offensive upgrade. As discussed, combat medic and grenadier can be useful, but in very limited situations, and if I pick a field upgrade, I don't usually want to be changing it all the time. I stick with that upgrade for that class, and for me the defensive upgrade is one I play on both support and as recon. Now why? Frankly, first of all, I'm not constantly in the close quarters. I'm not in the front of enemies often. Sometimes I may show up with an LMG, but I certainly don't need extra ammo as support player. I have unlimited ammo with me. And as recon player, I'm usually using a bolt action rifle, in which case, yes, frankly, you could eventually run out, but you usually don't. And there's plenty of time for you to go and find an ammo box, given that you're usually not right in the face of your enemy, but maybe a little bit behind your friendly lines, kind of facing the enemy, making sure you don't get flanked, etc. So you have more time to find a next ammo crate. And obviously decreasing the damage to your chest is always useful. Also as sniper, yes, it's all about headshots with snipers, but you also get body shot from time to time. And the last thing you want to do is kind of have an aggressive sniper push you, body shot, one shot you in close quarter. And the defensive upgrade can completely prevent this from happening. Given that I use the defensive upgrade for both my recon and support player, you've probably guessed by now that for my engineer and assault, I'm probably going to be using the offensive upgrade. And this comes down to the fact that if I'm playing those two classes, more often than not, I am pushing an objective. Is that a capture point, a flag, or even an MCOM on rush? It doesn't really matter, and I'm going to be trying to capture a point. That extra grenade helps me put more pressure on enemies that are camped behind cover, etc. And the extra ammo is always useful, going on kill streaks, trying to suppress somebody, or trying to take somebody out at range with a weapon that maybe isn't quite as suitable for that kind of situation. To give an example, something like F2000 can chew very well through enemies at medium range. You just need a few extra bullets to deal with. And if you've not got enough ammo, or you've not got an active support player around you, which frankly there is very few situations when there's a support player who's going to give you ammo when you need it, then the offensive upgrade can save your ass. I'm not a big fan of kit switching. I do it if I have to, but I'm not a big fan of it because then it means I need to redirect my playstyle, change my playstyle. Often there's stupid attachment arrangements on the guns I find. For example, an M16A4 with a fleur sight and a heavy barrel. That's basically an unusable combination for me, and then I'm kind of screwed because I've got a gun that I can't use or I can't adapt to, or that I frankly don't want to be using. This is why I love the extra ammo for. Yes, it means that I'm a little bit more vulnerable in close quarter because I don't have that kind of armor upgrade from the defensive, but it also means I can go on longer kill streak, and it's a fun way to play the game. The extra grenade, as I said, is also useful, but for me, that's just the way I run it. So defensive for recon and for support player because they have no need for the extra ammunition, and of course the damage to the chest being decreased by 10% is just a great, lovely bonus. And offensive for the extra grenade and extra ammo, better allowing me to push a point. So that's the way I equip my soldiers, my characters, my player with field upgrades in Battlefield 4. I'd be interested to know how you do it. Which are your favorite field upgrades and why, and which situations do you prefer which of these field upgrades? Feel free to leave your experiences down below in the comments, as well as your video suggestions regarding any future projects on this channel. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you in the next Battlefield 4 video.